Now let me tell you this. Salvation is free, but ministry costs. Isn't it something? Isn't it something that I wish I could have gotten people to come in and put the carpet down free? I wish Georgia Power would give us the lights free. It's amazing that every contractor that worked on the building wanted to be paid on time. Some of them wanted draws ahead of time. Isn't it something? And let me tell you this, the only thing that hinders most of us from making our dreams a reality is money. But you can't make it happen until you got the money, can you? It takes time, it takes money, it takes money. Here's the third thing that it requires. It takes land. Every dream, every vision has to happen somewhere. It takes land or location. It's got to happen somewhere. It's got to happen somewhere. Where we're going to do it. God gives you a vision about doing something, it's got to happen somewhere. Where is it going to happen? You need time, you need money, you need land. You need land. Here's the fourth thing that you need. You need facilities. Facilities go on the land. It takes time to get the money, to acquire the land, and build the facility. Because every dream, every vision has to happen somewhere. You got to have something somewhere. Even you set up something, you got to have a little post office box somewhere. So there must be a location, there must be an address for something to happen. So you need time, you need money, you need land, you need facilities. And number 5, you need people. God will never give you a dream or vision where you don't have to depend on anybody else. May I tell you that God never made you independent, but he made us interdependent. The only person that we are to be dependent on is God himself. We are dependent on God, and then we are interdependent on others. So your dream, your vision will always include people. God will make it where there are people that have the missing piece to what you are called to do. And wouldn't it be wonderful if it was just us and God and we didn't have to fool with people? If we could just skip over that process. But I mean, if you open a business, you got to deal with the Secretary of State. You know, you got to deal with attorneys. You got to deal with an accountant. You got to deal with some other people. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we had no accountability and responsibility to other people? If we could just do what God told us to do, but it doesn't quite work that way, does it? People are a huge part of the process. Now, let me talk to you for just a moment about, I gave you just 5 very practical things that are necessary for the fulfillment of any dream or vision that God might give you. Let me give you 5 spiritual things that we deal with, that we have as a part of making a dream come true, a vision come true. Now, some of these you may not understand. It takes spiritual maturity to be able to understand some of the things I'm getting ready to say to you right now. Number 1, on the spiritual side, if you're going to have a dream or vision to come to pass, you must have adversity. Now, I know you don't want adversity, but you've got to have adversity. All dreams are born out of something that aggravated a person. I mean, somewhere down the line, you know, if you get a dream to feed the hungry, somewhere down the line you struggle to eat. Or somebody that you knew that you was close to, you know, and it touched you, it bothered you. There has to be adversity that happens in your life. There has to be adversity. Please remember that sometimes the adversity is that you experience loss. Sometimes the adversity, isn't it something how God will use adversity to propel you into your destiny? Sometimes the best thing that could have happened to you is that you could have been laid off of your job. Isn't it something before you'll ever live a dream of ever starting your own business, you got to get frustrated at the place where you work. You got to get to a place where I'm not, it's a struggle for me to get up and come into this place every single day. I mean, isn't it something that had you not had a cataclysmic encounter with a human being that messed you up in your life and walked out on you, and there you were crying over something that now you're rejoicing over, saying, Lord, thank you for deliverance. Thank you, God, I couldn't see. I was sleeping with the enemy and didn't know it. They were hindering me. They were not helping me. There was adversity, and God used adversity. Somebody had to cut you off. Somebody had to die. Somebody had to move away. Somebody had to break up on you. Somebody had to cheat on you for your eyes to get open. And that adversity caused a loss in your life. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Loss, I've told you, loss is a tool. It is a divine tool to create a desire for change. That's all loss is. It's a divine tool to birth a desire for change in your heart. That's why if you're ever going to have a dream, a vision to come to pass, something has got to hurt you. Something has got to impact your life. Something has got to give you a wake-up call. And God uses adversity, where affliction becomes the catalyst of God. And God will use affliction in your life, troubles, struggles, to wake you up and say, I cannot keep on living the way that I'm living right now. So on the spiritual side, you need adversity. You need adversity. You need adversity. Adversity is a catalyst for change. It's a catalyst. It's not until you get in trouble that you really start getting fueled. And I don't know about you, but I found that every time that I have come under pressure of affliction in my life and adversity, my convictions don't grow weaker, they grow stronger. There's something about it that it helps you. The trouble that you go through helps to make you who you are. The diamond is made because it comes under pressure. It's cold, it comes under pressure, and it's the pressure that's making something that becomes so precious. The second thing that you'll need from a spiritual standpoint is faith. Without faith, it is impossible to please Him. Faith is the hand that reaches into the celestial world and brings it down into the terrestrial world. It is your faith. It is your faith. You walk by faith. You talk by faith. You live by faith. Faith is not an emotion. Faith says something. Faith does something. Faith is something. Thirdly, from a spiritual standpoint, you'll need passion. Passion. Passion comes as a result of realizing something about your purpose. When you begin to understand that this is my purpose, your purpose then gets you excited. When you find people that are flowing in their purpose, they get passionate. I don't care even if it's not paying enough to keep the lights on. If you're doing what you love to do, what you feel like you're called to do, there is a passion that bubbles out. I mean, even if you've got to struggle, but to live your dream. That's why people can be called as musicians and actors and be starving and can barely pay their rent and late all of the time. But they've got a passion in their heart. They've got a passion. There's a passion that is there. The fourth thing, from a spiritual standpoint, that you have to have if you're going to make a dream, a vision come true, is perseverance. 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 You got to learn how to outlast persecution. Perseverance. Well, he that endureth to the end shall be saved. To him that endureth to the end shall be laid up a crown of righteousness. And the fifth thing that I believe that we need from a spiritual standpoint for dreams and visions to come to pass is accountability. Because God is going to hold us accountable. He's going to say, what did you do with the gift that I gave you? God is going to say to you, like he said to Moses, Moses, you're going to be accountable to me, Moses. He said, what is that that's in your hand? How dare you tell me what you can't do? What's in your hand? What's in your hand? You got to use what you've got in order to get what you want. What is in your hand? What's in your hand? What's in your hand? There's something that is absolutely powerful about what's in your hand. Something absolutely powerful about what's in your hand. And let me tell you that as you're working on the progression of this process of going from a dream, from a vision, from a word from God to fulfillment, there are three major fears that you have to confront. And I want to talk about those for just a moment. And the first one I would call the fear of persecution. It's the fear of persecution. Because you don't want to be persecuted. The fear of persecution says, I don't want to do this because of what they might think. It is a persecution based on a perception of the people. How will they perceive me? Suppose they don't like me. What are they going to say about me? And so if you are persecuted, you are not persecuted just for who you are. You are persecuted for who you are, but you're also persecuted for what you've got. You'll be persecuted for having God's favor on you. That's why Joseph was persecuted. He was persecuted for what he had, because he had a coat of many colors, because he had something that showed that God's favor was on his life. You can be persecuted just because you're gifted. And people start saying, oh, she thinks he all that. Oh, he thinks he all that. Oh, he's stuck on himself. She's stuck on herself. And you're persecuted because of what other people perceive you to be. And so we can be afraid of persecution. May I tell you something what the Bible teaches about persecution? The Bible teaches that blessings come with persecution. Now, if you don't want the blessing, then you won't get the persecution. You'll only get persecuted if you try to do something that is positive, if you try to do something that's good, but you don't just get persecuted for no reason at all.
Thank you for watching Power for Living with Bishop Dale C. Bronner. Until next time, God bless you.